What's going on, team? What's going on, team? Welcome to this weekend's weekly market breakdown. Just gonna test the audio real quick, make sure that we are good. Perfect. Just gonna give everybody a few more minutes here to join before we start. Gonna give everybody 2 minutes. We'll start at 10:20. Just posted the link everywhere. We posted it on Discord, Twitter. Just looking some stuff up real quick. I gotta go do some a little Christmas shopping. See what I can find real quick. Quick. Alright, let's get started, guys. So, we're going to be doing this class, right? We're going to be going over the pairs that you see with the red flag next to their name, starting off with AU, finishing off with USOIL. My screen froze. With USOIL, we'll be going in order, starting from the top to the bottom. If you guys have any questions about any other pair, whether or not they're on our list, let me know. We're going to be going over the daily time frame, update our market makers pattern if we need to, update our daily highs, daily lows, talk about where we're at in the overall market makers pattern, what we could be expecting for this week and for the rest of this month going into the new year. This is the last week of the month, right? Well, we still got next week up until Tuesday, so still got a little bit of time. Christmas coming up, 24th and the 25th. I'm not really expecting anything too crazy out of the charts. 25th, I'm pretty sure is gonna be very low volume. Right, we'll go over the news that we have before we start this class. Let's do this real quick. Right, so starting off with Monday, nothing really too crazy. We have CAD news at 8:30. Tuesday, bank holidays in Euro, NZD, and AUD. Not expecting too much volume coming into the chart on Tuesday. Obviously, the 24th, 25th. Obviously, again, bank holiday. 26th, same thing, bank holiday, 8:30 of unemployment claims, and then Friday, nothing is looking crystal clear. Right, let's go into next week, just so we can see the rest of the month for Monday and Tuesday. Same thing for Monday, bank holidays in JPY, no folders, and then Tuesday, New Year's, right? So, not really expecting anything too crazy from this week going into next week, starting off until 2025, but we'll go over the charts, we'll update what we need to update. Pretty much this week I didn't really trade anything after the FOMC news came out. I was pretty much just trading Monday, Tuesday. Didn't really trade Wednesday through Friday. Let me go over the Discord real quick. Did somebody post a chart? I think so. Let me go over this real quick. What day did 2022? On the 17th. What day was the 17th? 17th was on Tuesday. We had somebody post US30 on Tuesday. Let's go over US30. I'm not going to go over it, but I just want to take a look at what he posted on the chart and what we could be expecting, right? So, market structure, he posted this on Tuesday, right? So, obviously, market structure is key, right? So, just to kind of gauge what it was that was posted in the Discord, right? So he said US30 going to be a good trade soon. It takes some longs long term. right? And do I say what I want to say? You know, it's looking at the chart, right? You would think just to kind of answer that question that I had to in one of my one-on-one sessions this week, just so I could kind of explain you know, my viewpoints and how it is that I look at the market, right? So it's easy when you want to see market structure, right? You see higher highs and higher lows. However, it's one of those questions where how many times is price how many times is price going to just keep it simple and just continue to make higher highs and higher lows before giving you a fake out or before giving us an inducement, before making the real move back to the top side or making the complete move going back down, right? Going flipping the market maker's pattern from uptrend going into downtrend. Right now on US30, right, daily time frame, we're pretty much trading between the same daily highs and 4-hour highs, right? 4-hour time frame, higher high, higher low, higher high, then price went down, gave us a lower low, change of character. Daily time frame, same thing, higher high, higher high, lower low, change of character. Going into the 30-minute, we can see that price just has what, 12 days where price was just going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? And then Thursday price gave us a no net, and then Friday gave us a push back to the top side after it gave us an inducement of the lows, right? And this was, the news was on Wednesday, and then Friday we just had a lot of volume. So there was two things that I was kind of explaining. I kind of explained it on SMP with one of the people from our class, but it's very similar with US30, and I'm pretty sure it's very similar to a lot of the pairs that gave us this type of movement, right? The question was, could we expect price to give us a pullback, right? And almost always, whenever there's this type of impulse move, whenever there's an imbalance in the market, whenever there's news that comes out and just pushes the market in one side, the market will almost always immediately, right, whether it happens on the same day, whether it happens the same week, you know, it could take maybe a month or two before price fills the imbalance, but for the most part, almost immediately, price will always give us a pullback, right? We just have to wait for confirmations, right? And how do we know we're going to get that pullback? Is going to be, you know, you'll see inducements, right? How we had here, the fake break of the lows to trap traders thinking that this was going to continue. If you're looking at your charts, right, we'll start off with this to make it easier. If you're looking at your charts and you're just super zoomed in, right, you're super zoomed in, let's say you look at your charts like this, right, you probably got faked out on a pair like US30, because you would think that this is a double bottom, double top, right? You would think lower low, lower high, lower low, right? You would think this is where price is going to give you the retest, right, to go short. Saw a lot of people on Friday take this trade before the NYC open. They, oh, price is going to continue going down, we're going to go down, right? They'll get into these trades early and then boom, get faked out, right? Also, we never had a clean break of these lows. All of these candles were testing, right? Again, we'll draw this out just to kind of say this early on the stream so you guys can know exactly what it is that we're talking about, right? So in this case, we'll draw the red candles, right? So let's say you have the break of structure line, right? Boom, this is the break of structure line. The first candle that closes below the break of structure line is a testing candle. Any candle that closes below this line, if it doesn't, there's two things we want to see, right? The first thing we want to see is, okay, any candle after the first one, is it still touching the break of structure line, right? If the candle is still touching the break of structure line, it's still a testing candle. Notice how this is the first candle that broke below, still touching the line, testing. Green candle, testing. Red candle is still testing, it's still touching the line. Green candle, still testing, went back up to the zone. Next red candle, boom, went down, again, still testing. Green candle, back up into the zone. Red candle, still touching the zone, right? None of these candles gave us a real break of structure. This is what an inducement looks like, right? This is what the market makers are going to throw at you to confuse you into thinking, oh yeah, price broke below the zone, you're looking for a break of structure retest to continue going short, right? And it's the same rules apply when you're looking for an uptrend, right? If you're looking for an uptrend, and we'll just draw the same candles, right? The first candle that closes above the break of structure zone, right? So let's say it looks like this. This is not a break of structure, this is a testing candle. If the next green candle Doesn't matter if it closes above, right? The second green candle, if it's still touching the zone, if it's still touching the break of structure line, it's still a testing candle. Now, if the second green candle or the third green candle, the fourth green candle finally closes above the first testing candle and is not touching the break of structure line, this is what the break of structure is. This is when we want to start looking for price to give us a pullback, to give us a retest, to then continue back up to the top side. Similar to the downtrend, right? If this red candle closes below the first red candle, the first testing candle, and gives us a confirmed break of structure without touching the line, this is the break of structure candle. This is where we'll be looking for the pullback, the retest, to then continue, right? So when you look at the rules and you start seeing like, oh shit, that makes sense, and you start applying it onto your charts, this is how you will avoid getting into these fake out trades, right? And we see that happening every single day. This happens every single day on the charts. This is the one rule that I always try to implement when I'm doing these classes, when I'm doing the one-on-one sessions. This is one rule that I always try to make sure that everybody understands what a real break of structure is. A break of structure is not just, oh, one red candle closed below the zone. Just because this candle closed below the zone, this is not a break of structure, right? Because we understand that the market has to induce traders. The market has to win, right? When you start looking at this as somebody has to win and somebody has to lose, and you start applying those rules, that's when this starts making so much more sense, right? You're pretty much competing against somebody else on the other side of the screen, right? You need to win, but the market also needs to win. So how is the market gonna win? It's going to throw fake moves, right? It's gonna give you fake break of structures. It's gonna give you fake double bottoms. It's gonna give you fake double tops, right? It's gonna give you fake engulfing candles. It's gonna give you fake engulfing. It's gonna give you fake imbalances, right? It's gonna give you fake order blocks for the people who trade order blocks, right? It's gonna give you those fake moves. So you have to be able to understand and be able to see clearly, okay, when is the market inducing and when is the market trending? When the market is trending, that's when you want to start taking a trade. When the market is just inducing traders, that's when you have to just take a step back, wait for the confirmations, and then you attack on the charts. Right, so I hope that makes sense. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Got a text message. Right, so that's what we need to make sure that we're keeping an eye on every single time we hop on the charts. We also want to make sure, just keep looking at your left hand side of the screen every single time, right? Why is that important? Because you're looking for break of structures, right? If we understand that we're looking for break of structures and retest, if price never gave you a break of structure, price isn't going to give you a retest to then continue the trend. That's how you know price is just going to give you an inducement. Now, if price gives you a break of structure, a clean break of structure, and then it gives you a retest, then you know, okay, perfect. On the retest, that's when I'm going to start looking for an entry. Right, so I hope that makes sense just a little bit before we start the session today. Just wanted to kind of go over that. Wanted to make sure that everybody really understood what a break of structure really is compared to a testing candle. So once again, this session, not going to take too much time out of your guys' day today. We're going to go over the daily time frame, look at where we're at in the overall market makers pattern, you know, where we're trending. Are we trending? Are we counter trending? Are we moving sideways? We'll go over the 4-hour time frame, right? In the daily time frame, we don't have to update really anything in the daily time frame. The 4-hour time frame will update what last week looked like. Do we have any continuations? 2 weeks of drop, 2 weeks of rise. What could we be expecting for this week? And same thing on the 30-minute time frame. Do we have any continuations? 2 days of drop, 2 days of rise. Could we be expecting Monday to continue the trend? Is price counter trending? And we'll do that with every single pair. So this session really shouldn't take longer than 45 minutes. I'm not really gonna sit here and explain every single, again, we trade every single pair the exact same way, right? The same examples I'm going to give you on AUDUSD is the same examples I'm going to give you on GBPJPY, which is going to be the same examples I'm going to give you on US30, same examples I'm going to give you on gold, Bitcoin, US oil, whatever pair you trade, right? It's the same thing, right? I'm looking for the same thing on every single pair. It's nothing different, all the same thing. Right, we're looking for the same type of moves, we're looking for the same type of candlestick analysis, we're looking for the same type of continuations. The only difference is the overall market makers pattern. Some pairs are downtrending, some pairs are uptrending. Are there some pairs that are just moving sideways and consolidating? Absolutely, and we'll talk about that as well. So once again, if you guys have any questions, anything that's not making sense, any pairs that you guys want me to go over, whether or not they're on our list, let me know. We do go in order starting from the top to the bottom, so if you want me to look at any other pair, we'll go over our pairs first, the ones with the red flag, and then after we finish with USOIL, which is the last pair that we look at, then I'll go over whichever other pair you guys want me to go over. But you know, if you guys want me to go over GU, GJ, you know, the ones that have the red flag next to their name, then we'll just have to get to that. We'll go in order, so we'll get there. Once again, I'm not gonna try to make this session I'm not gonna make this session too long. Just kind of gonna go through it, make sure we answer any questions. Right now in the Discord, don't have any questions from this week. Not a lot of people were trading this week from in our group. Just want to make sure, because I know Albert had a question, but he said that the answer was clarified on one of the sessions that we did a few weeks ago, so that's good. I've been kind of away from my computer for the last 3 days, so I'm just kind of going through all my messages, trying to see if I have any questions that I had probably missed, but I think I'm good. Let me check Twitter real quick. Give me 1 second, guys. And again, any questions, just make sure you leave the questions in the chat, and we'll go over that as well. Alright, no questions on Twitter either. Okay, so let's start off with AU, right? So AU, we know we're in A2. We're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third and final push to the bottom, right? Once again, same thing that we've explained for the last couple weeks, right? Here on AU, we've had price come down to these lows the same way we've had price come up to these highs in this zone of consolidation, and once again, just testing the highs, testing the lows, testing the highs, testing the lows, testing highs, testing lows, testing highs, testing lows, going back to the middle, testing lows, testing highs, back to the bottom. Right now we don't have any clean breakout structures. Right now we don't have any clean direction as to where price wants to go. Right now price is just testing highs and testing lows. Right, we know that we had 2 months of drop. We understood that this month we were expecting price to give us a third push to the bottom, and that's exactly what we got. Right, we had push 1, pullback, push 2, a little pullback, and then push number 3. Right, we also understand that AU has this gap here at the top of the market. So personally, even though we have 2 months of drop, even though we have 2 weeks of drop, even though we have 2 days of drop, I personally do not like to take trades whenever price leaves a gap in the market in the opposite direction. Right, in this case, AU is downtrending, right? AU left the gap at the top of the market, so I'm not going to be trading it, right? I'm not going to be taking trades going short when price still has a gap at the top side. And why is that? Again, personally, I've lost a lot of trades when I first started trading, whenever there was gaps on the opposite side of the trend. Why? Because we understand that it doesn't have to happen, right? And we'll say this first. Whenever there's a gap in the market, that gap doesn't have to be filled the same day. The gap doesn't have to be filled in the same week. Obviously, this gap was formed in October, and we're in December, and it still hasn't been filled, right? So we understand that there is no time limit or time frame as to when a gap has to be filled. But we understand that eventually, price will come back up or go back down if there's a gap in the market. And we see that every single time that there's a gap. So with that being said, pairs like AU, I believe EU also had a gap that was just filled with the news that we had from this week. I know GU had a gap at the bottom of the chart as well, very similar to EU, that was filled like 2 weeks ago. If I'm not mistaken, I think GCAD or GA also has a gap in the market in the opposite direction. So there's a few pairs on my list that I'm just not really taking a close look at because of those gaps, and I'm not taking any of those trades either. So with AU, we know we have 2 months of drop, this month being the 3rd month. We already got that third push to the bottom, right? So right now we don't have to update our daily time frame. We're still missing another week before we have to update that. In the 4-hour time frame, we're still trading lower low, lower high into this lower low, right? And last week we didn't have a set low, but we finally do have one. So we're trading between this 4-hour low down here. And again, everything is color coordinated on our screen, guys. The daily time frame, the daily highs and daily lows is the gray box. The 4-hour highs and 4-hour lows is the blue box. And the 30-minute highs and 30-minute lows is the red box. So then at this point, we had 3 weeks of drop. This week, price went down again. Still making lower lows and lower highs. I also want to see, do we have any gaps in the chart that reset the trend? Right? Another question that we get asked a lot in this is, are gaps really important? Right? And yes, they are. Whenever there's a gap in the market, it resets the trend. Right? It completely resets the trend, and price could just continue to trend. The same way we see it on US30, the same way we're seeing on AU. Right? On the first day, price gave us a day of drop, gave us a gap in the market. Perfect. 2 days of drop. Right, on the third day, when price opened up on the third day, price gave us a gap in the market, reset the trend, and price just continued to push down to the bottom, which is all good, right? That's exactly what price has to be doing. So right now on the 4-hour time frame, we really don't have anything to update on here. We're still making lower lows and lower highs. We're in a lower low right now. So let's look at the 30-minute time frame. In the 30-minute time frame, we had lower low, lower high. We had the break of structure, and price never gave us a pullback. It just continued to drop. So we know that we're trading between this 30-minute high up here, right? Lower low, we'll mark it up this way. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Right? We had the break of structure, and again, we never had a pullback. We never had a significant pullback. So we're not going to say that this is lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? That doesn't make any sense. All of this is part of the same trend. So we know that we're trading between that 30-minute low down there and this 30-minute high up here. Let's mark it up this way, and then on Friday, price ended up giving us a day of rise. We have 2 days that price has been moving on up. And we know that we did not get that third day, or we didn't get that 4th day variation push, which is all good, right? We understand that last week's ADR was obviously already filled, right? And what is the ADR, right? ADR, average daily range, average weekly range, AWR, AMR, average monthly range. We understand that there's a certain amount of pips that a certain pair has to move on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis. Again, that's an average. Can price do more? Yes, of course. If there's news in the market, we understand that news moves the market a lot more than a regular day, right? Same thing with the AWR, right? Same thing with the AMR. Is there times where a certain pair is going to give you more pips on an AWR? For example, on AU for this week is 122 pips. So if we go to Monday and we start looking at how many pips price moved this week, on average it's supposed to be moving 122 pips. And you can see that by Wednesday, before the news hit, we did 122 pips, right? But how many pips did price really do for this week? We did 182, right? So we did 60 pips more than what that average is supposed to be for the week. But again, it's all good. We understand that we had news in the market. The news just pushed price all the way back down to the bottom. And then Thursday, Friday, price just went up and gave us a pullback, right? So we want to make sure we also have that too, guys. Make sure you add the ADR. If you guys are looking at us, looking at our streams every single day, if you guys are part of the class, make sure you guys add this indicator, right? The ADR is very, very important. This is the one that you guys want to add. I think it's better if I show you this way. This one right here. This is the ADR. Right, so right now for AU, I'm just taking a step back, right? The pairs that have gaps in the market, like I said, on the opposite trend, I'm not going to be really looking at. I'm not really going to be doing anything too crazy. We're just going to continue to update it. We'll update our 30-minute highs and 30-minute lows if we need to. But in this case, I'm not going to be really doing nothing crazy on pairs that have gaps. So EA, we don't have any gaps in the market. We're looking good. We're in V2. We're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third and final push to the top side. Right now in the daily time frame, we're still trading between the same daily high and daily low. We don't have any continuations. We had a month of counter drop last month. In the 4-hour time frame, let me go ahead and TradingView updated their platform by like a week ago. Kind of messed up my charts, man. I don't know why I had to turn on and turn off the session breaks now for this to look clean, but it's all good. EA, the 4-hour time frame, again, we're still trading between the same 4-hour high and 4-hour low. So at this point, I'm just looking at structure within the internal time frame, right? We had 3 weeks of rise. On the 3rd week, price gave us a rise no net. This past week, we were expecting that 4th week push to the top side, and that's exactly what price gave us. Gave us another week of rise. It was perfect, right? This pair moved exactly how it needs to move. Very beautiful move. On the 30-minute time frame, we had 3 days of rise. On the 3rd day, price gave us a rise drop. We're expecting price to give us a new high. It didn't give us a new high, but it did give us another push to the top side. So even EA moved pretty clean this week. So what could we be expecting on EA for this upcoming week? You know, would love to get a pullback before we get a continuation back to the top side. Would love for price to give us some sort of pullback before we continue this push to the top side. We also have this 30-minute gap here at the bottom, which at this point I'm not really expecting price to really push down to here. But let's talk about what if price does move up to the top side, right? We understand that we had, just looking at structure, right? We had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? And this is where price gave us that internal change of character to make a higher high, right? Boom, higher high. So the next question that everybody should be asking, like, okay, cool, we had a break of structure. After a break of structure, what are we looking for? We're looking for a pullback, right? So there's going to be people who are going to add fib retracements, which all of that works, right? If you want to use fib retracements to figure out where your point of interest is, to get a pullback, to then start looking for a trade there, you could do that. There's people who are going to be looking at EMAs, there's people who are going to be looking for order blocks, there's people who are going to be looking for engulfing candles, etc., etc., right? Everything works, but it's about putting all the pieces together and figuring out what's the best probable place as to where price is going to give us a pullback, right? And in this case, right now in the 30-minute time, well, right now in the 4-hour time frame, we know that this is where we had the break of structure. We understand that the first point of interest that's very, very important is where was the last pullback before the break, right? And this is the last pullback that we had on EA before we had the break of structure. So right now we have two confirmations on this chart alone. Just looking at it like this, we have two confirmations as to why this is a very powerful point of interest, as to where price is going to give us a pullback, right, before we continue the push back to the top side. And I'll keep this on the chart so then this week when we do the classes, you guys could see, okay, whether or not this was a sorry, let me grab this line here real quick. Whether or not this was a good point of interest to have, right? So we have an engulfing candle, we have the last pullback before the break of structure, all in the same zone. So could we be expecting price to give us a pullback down into this 30-minute engulfing candle? It could happen. This could be a pretty good zone to start looking for a trade on EA to go back to the top side. Now, what if price doesn't continue the trend down to the bottom? Then it's all good. Then we'll be looking for a break of structure. Once again, we'll be looking for price to just simply give us a break, a retest, to then continue back to the top side. Right, so EA is going to be one that's definitely going to be on my watch list for this week. I'm gonna love to see price, would love to see price give me a steeper pullback, so then that way we could take a trade down here to continue that push back to the top side. This would be the most ideal position that we could get for this week. Right, so right now for EA, we're looking good. Gonna keep a very close eye on EA. EU in the daily time frame. Once again, we're in V1, we're in the first zone of consolidation. We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. Once again, we do not have a clean break of structure. Remember what I said in the beginning of the stream. What is a real break of structure and what is a testing candle? So if we add a line to the chart and we zoom in, okay, this is where the break of structure is going to happen. You had one red candle. Just because this red candle closed below the zone does not mean that is a break of structure. The candle is still touching the break of structure line. This is still a testing candle. Then price went back up. Then price again went back down. Just because this red candle closed below the zone, it does not mean it's a break of structure. The first candle, the candles that are touching the line, is a testing candle. If we would have had another red candle, if this green candle that printed, right, if this green candle would have been a red candle that closed below this first red candle's testing, then this would have been the break of structure, and then we could have been saying, okay, cool, we'll continue to look for price to go down. We'll be looking for a retest to continue. But what did price do? First of all, it printed a green candle, right? Second of all, it never closed below the first red candle's wick, so it's still a testing candle. It's not a break of structure. Right, so in this case, again, in the daily time frame, we don't have to really update our daily highs and daily lows. We're still trading between this daily high and this daily low down here. In the 4-hour time frame, we had a week of counter drop last week. This week we had another week of drop, 2 weeks of counter drop, and we're still trading between low, lower high, lower low, zoom this out real quick, because I don't want to feel like this zone doesn't make any sense. So let's see where we were at with this. So in the 4-hour time frame, we had low, lower high, lower low, and then price went up and gave us a higher high. Right, so we know that we're trading between this 4-hour high and 4-hour low. Then price went down and gave us a 4-hour change of character and gave us a lower low. However, you know, I'm not gonna say that this is in the 4-hour lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, right? I'm gonna just say that we're trading between this 4-hour low down here, and then the 4-hour high is still going to be this one all the way at the top side. And this is a pair that I kind of wanted to keep updated for this week. I wanted to kind of see where we were at and how we would end the week before I actually updated this. So we know that we're trading between this 4-hour high. Oh no, I did the wrong one. Right, we're trading between that 4-hour high and these 4-hour lows down here. And in the 30-minute time frame, let's turn on the session breaks once again. Yeah, man, I don't know what TradingView did with their charts with the last update that they did, but they completely fucked it up. At least for me, man. Then we have 2 days of rise. Right, so could we expect price? Give me a second. What line is that? What's this for? Okay, I'm gonna delete this. We don't need that right now. Could we expect price to start the new week with a push back to the top side? It could happen. Could definitely happen. So EU is definitely one that I'm going to keep on my watch list to continue that push to the top side. With EURCAD, right now we are in V1. We're in the first zone of consolidation, looking for that second push to the top side. Again, none of these candles gave us a clean break of structure of the zone of consolidation. We're still looking for that break of structure. Since we didn't get it, price just gave us a pullback. Price also gave us a gap at the bottom of the market. So once again, I will not be taking a trade on EURCAD until we fill that gap up. Once we fill that gap up, that's when I'll start taking a trade. Right? We had 3 weeks of rise. On the 3rd week, price gave us a rise no net. We were expecting price to give us a 4th push to the top side, and that's exactly what price did. And at this point, we're pretty close to the opening candle, but we're still going to mark it as a rise. If we need to update it tomorrow, we'll update it tomorrow as a no net, but I'm not really... We'll keep it this way. I don't think price will go down as soon as the market open and gives a 23 pips down to the bottom, but it could happen. It could still be a no net. But right now we're looking good. Right? It's still moving exactly how it needs to move. And on the 30-minute time frame, we had 2 days of counter drop, and then on Friday, price ended up giving us a day of rise. Right? And we know that right now we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we're trading between this 30-minute high and 30-minute low. So EURCAD right now, we know that we have a gap at the bottom of the market, so I won't really be taking trades on EURCAD, but it's looking good. We'd love for price to give us a break of the highs, to then give us a pullback. Right? I'll be looking for something like this to happen. Break, pullback. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Right? A break, pullback, to then continue back to the top side. Right? Would be expecting something like that to happen, or could price come down from where we're at now? Right? We'll also put 2 and 2 together. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame real quick. Oh man, I messed something up. Okay, let's go to the 4-hour time frame, and we'll start looking at it like this. Right? We understand that this is one zone. A couple weeks ago, we were in a zone of consolidation. Dude, thank you. Right? We were in this zone of consolidation. We had the break of structure of the zone of consolidation. Could this simply just be a retest to continue the push down to the bottom? Absolutely. And then when price fills this gap up, is this when we could expect price to do something like this and continue the push to the top side? It could happen. Right? So again, I'm going to keep this no, I don't want to keep this on my screen because it's going to be way too much, but I'll keep this. Obviously, we'll keep the zone of consolidation. I'll keep this one down here. We'll see something like this happen. Right, so for EURCAD, once again, since this pair, we have that gap at the bottom of the market, I'm not really going to be looking to take a trade on EURCAD. Let's go on to the next one. It's really that simple, guys. Keep trading simple, right? Follow your rules. If you know that a certain pair is not following your rules and you're looking for something to happen, Wait for price to make those moves and then start looking for a trade, right? Don't do the opposite. If you know you're looking for price to give you a pullback, why would you continue to trade going opposite of the pullback, right? If you're looking for price to give you a pullback going down, understanding the rules that you're following, why would you start looking for trades going long when you know price is going to give you that inducement back down to the bottom, right? It's very similar with market structure. If you know price is making higher highs and higher lows, why would you start taking trades going short, right? Why would you take a trade going short here when price is still giving you higher highs and higher lows? Vice versa with lower lows and lower highs. If price is giving you lower lows and lower highs, why would you take a trade going long here, understanding that we're just continuing the trend, right? We're making lower lows and lower highs. So you want to make sure you're following market structure every single time that you're on the charts. Market structure is going to save you from a lot of pain, I promise. Right, so GA, we're in V2, we're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push to the top side. In the zone of consolidation, we were looking for that break of structure. Did we get the break of structure? Yes, we did. Very beautiful break of structure. Again, this first green candle that closed above the zone, above the break of structure line, is just a testing candle. Price came back down. This green candle that closed above the break of structure line, again, is a testing candle. The confirmed break of structure was the second green candle. Not only did it close above the first testing candle's wick at the top, but it's also not touching the break of structure line. So we already have the confirmation that on GA we have the break of structure. Give me a second, guys, hold on. Sorry about that, guys, my bad. Whole family is here for Christmas. They're gonna use my car real quick to go to the shop while I do this class. So we already have the break of structure for GA. So this is looking amazing, right? We already know that we're starting that third and final push for GA. We know that we're gonna be looking for price to continue the push to the top side. The only thing that's missing on GA now is a pullback. Could we expect price to give us a very steep pullback? Once again, let's start looking for a rule. So we understand, so let's update where we're at. So we're no longer in V2. Now we're in level 3. Right? In level 3, let's start from the first lesson in the academy, right? The EMAs. In level 3, we want to see price bounce off the 50 EMA. The 50 EMA is the baby blue colored EMA, which is this one. Could we expect price? And this is in the daily time frame, so I'll just update this. I'll mark it up in the daily time frame, and then we'll continue to go into the 4 hour and see where the pullback is going to be in the 4 hour, and the same thing on the 30 minute. Could we expect price to give us a pullback on the 50 EMA somewhere in this area to then continue to push to the top side? Absolutely. Let's start looking at our second rule, right? The break of structure of this zone of consolidation that we had here in the 4 hour time frame. Let's go to 4 hour. In the 4 hour time frame, we had 3 weeks of rise. On the third week, price gave us a rise drop, right? We were expecting price to give us a 4th week push to the top side, and that's exactly what price did. It gave us a beautiful push to the top side, gave us beautiful moves to the top, gave us a new high. Let's update this real quick too, So Sunday at 17, which is 5 p.m. Let's add a few lines here so we don't have to do this every time we do the session. I feel like I say this every single time I do the sessions, but these weeks just go by so fast. Like I added like what 7 or 6 lines the last time we did. Well, the last time I updated the charts on stream was like what, maybe felt like a couple weeks ago, but obviously it's been a couple weeks. Sunday, where you at? Alright, buddy, come on. There you go. We'll just add a few lines here and we'll add the rest for the new year. Alright, so we know that we have another push to the top side, which is perfect. This is exactly what we want to see. So now we know that in the 4 hour time frame, we're trading between, where's the 4 hour low? I'm lost. Give me 1 second. Right, we have this 4 hour low, but why? Hold on. This is why I like adding my lines. Right, so we know that we're trading between this 4 hour high and 4 hour low. Okay, cool. So this is just super extended for no reason. So boom. We had the 4 hour break of structure, which gave us this 4 hour low. We're still trading between the same 4 hour low. Right, and now our 4 hour high is up here. So let's zoom in. We know that we're trading between this 4-hour high over here. Alright, let's update our daily highs too. This is wrong. Our daily highs is very similar to the 4-hour highs too. 4-hour highs and 4-hour lows are very similar on GA. So we know that our daily lows are down here and our 4-hour highs is up here. The last green candle before the push down to the bottom. Right, and then on the 30-minute, we had, and once again, this pullback that we had was for the 4th week push to the top side. You know, could I have held this trade a little bit more up into these highs? Of course, right? But you guys know I follow my rules very strictly, right? What comes first, right? STP comes first. That's my first take profit. Then it's ADR for the day, right? I was really hoping to see price give me a pullback before we continue the push. That's really what I was expecting for price to do. But price just continued the trend. Never really gave us a clean pullback, right? Kind of gave us a pullback during the NYC session on, what day was this? On Wednesday. But it's all good, right? We caught the move that we wanted to catch. It's all good. Not too bad. Our little 1 to 5, 96 pip TP, 17 pip stop loss. Beautiful entry, right? Zero drawdown. Very, very minimum drawdown. The drawdown that we had, if we want to talk about the drawdown that we had on this pair, perfect. We'll talk about it. We had a 0.8 drawdown on GA. Right, and again, following all our rules. We had an engulfing candle. We had 3 weeks of rise. On the 3rd week, price gave us a rise drop. We understood that we were looking for price to continue the push for this week, and that's exactly what price gave us, right? And then our 30-minute highs and 30-minute lows, we had higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then price came down and gave us a little change of character, lower low. Right, but at this point, I'm not gonna say that this is lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, right? All of this is part of the same type of move. So we're gonna say that we're trading between this 30-minute low down here and then our 30-minute high up here, and we have just a day of rise. So GA is looking good. Would love to get a pullback on GA before we can continue to take a trade on here. GA is definitely going to be on one of my watch lists. Let's also do this real quick so I know which pairs to keep an eye on. So ECAD, we said we have that gap at the bottom. I'm not going to entertain ECAD. EU filled the gap that we had at the bottom, so we're looking good for EU. We want to keep a close eye on EU. EA, we have no gaps in the market. We're good for EA. And then AU, we have that gap at the top going counter, so I'm not going to be trading AU. GA, we're good. Okay. GCAD, we have a gap going counter, right? We know that we were in V1. We had the break of structure. We haven't really gotten a steep pullback on GCAD just yet. We are in level 2. We are already starting that second push. Now we know, okay, we started the second push. What could we be expecting? We still know that we're expecting the second zone of consolidation, and we're still looking for that third push to the top side, right? Which is exactly what we have drawn out here in the 4-hour time frame, or in the daily time frame, sorry. This is the moves that I'm kind of expecting GCAD to do. Now, is this a little high? It's a little bit high, but not really, right? We know that we're looking for price to at least reach these highs over here, right? So we understand that right now we're looking good. Still expecting a pullback, right? And once again, when you're in level 2, we'll go back to what we were saying for the last pair. In level 2, what are we expecting? Going back to the first lessons that we teach in the academy, right? In level 2, we're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA, which is the white line, right? Notice how the 200 EMA is still very close to this gap that we have at the bottom of the market. So could I expect price to give us a pullback, fill this gap, and then start to push back to the top side? Absolutely. This is what I'm expecting out of GCAD, right? 4-hour time frame. We know that we had same thing as GA. Right, we have 3 weeks of rise. On the 3rd week, price gave us a rise drop, gave us a beautiful pullback towards the end of the week, gave us a nice push to the top side, and we gave another week another push to the top side. The 4-hour time frame, we have higher high, higher low, higher high. We have another break, right? This break happened here. This break gave us this low over here. So now we know that we're trading between this 4-hour low over here. I'm gonna mark up just the zone right here. So we know we're trading between this 4-hour low and these 4-hour highs over here. This way. And in the 30-minute time frame, we don't have any continuations. We had a day of drop on Thursday, and then Friday price gave us a day of rise. And we know that we're still trading between this 30-minute low and these 30-minute highs up here. Right? We have let's redo this real quick, right? Because we understand that this is where price is just kind of consolidating. So I'm not gonna say that we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Higher low, higher high, lower low. I'm not gonna mark it that way. What I'm gonna mark is all of this on the top side is part of the same higher high, higher low, higher high, and we know that we're trading between this 30-minute low and this 30-minute high up here, right? That would make a lot more sense than what we had in the beginning of the week, right? So let's update this. We know that we're trading between this 30-minute low and the 30-minute high. Will mark all of this as here, right? All of this where you can see price is just kind of consolidating, right? But in this case, I'm just gonna mark it this way so we don't have big zone. And we're looking good. We're still following the trend, but once again, GCAD is a pair that has a gap in the market going opposite of the trend. So GCAD, I'm going to turn this off. I'm not going to be focusing on GCAD. Once we fill that gap up in the market, that's when I'll start taking trades again on GCAD. Till then, I'm just going to take a step back. GJ, very similar to gold, very similar to US30. We're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market. So right now, I'm just going to be focused on market structure, right? Market structure and continuations. Again, market structure is higher highs, higher lows, or vice versa, lower lows and lower highs. And our continuations, again, is going to be either 2 months of drop or 2 months of rise, 2 weeks of drop or 2 weeks of rise, or 2 days of drop, 2 days of rise, right? Looking for that third push. So GJ in the daily time frame, we know again everything is color coordinated. The gray boxes are the daily highs, daily lows. The markings that I do with the highlight, if it's gray, it's market structure in the daily time frame. We know that we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? So we know that we're trading between this daily low and this daily high. In the 4-hour time frame, we know that we're trading between lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price gave us a 4-hour change of character, higher high. So we know that we're trading between this 4-hour high up here and this 4-hour low over here. We have a week of rise last week. This week price gave us 2 weeks of rise. Now, could we expect price to give us a third push to the top side? Absolutely, it could definitely happen. So this is where I start putting all the pieces together. Do we have any engulfing candles in the daily time frame? Do we have any engulfing candles in the 4-hour, in the 1-hour, in the 30-minute? If we do, we'll mark it up and we'll start looking, okay, cool, this could be a point of interest where we could expect price to give us a pullback. In the 4-hour time, in the daily time frame, sorry, we do have an engulfing candle, red, green. Once again, what's an engulfing candle and what does it look like? We'll go ahead and mark it up. We'll draw it out for you. Right, so in this case, we'll draw an engulfing candle, a bullish engulfing candle. So we know that we're looking for something like this, right? Where we have 2 red candles, and then we have the 1 green candle that closes above the first and second red candle, right? And each candle has to have top and bottom wicks. Each candle has to have top and bottom wicks. So in this case, when we start looking at the chart, where do we have that engulfing candle? Where do you see on the chart? Where do you see this type of movement? Right, and we see it right here. We zoom into it, we have a red, green, right? First candle, top and bottom wick. Second candle, top and bottom wick. Third candle, the green bullish engulfing candle, has a top and a bottom wick. The only thing I don't like about this candle is how big that wick is at the top. Why? Because we also understand candlestick analysis, right? These wicks at the top, whenever they're so big like this, we understand that it's a wow, I just had a brain fart. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a exhaustion candle, right? So we understand that price, this point of interest that we have, this engulfing candle, is not a strong point of interest. However, we'll still mark it, right? Once price gets into this point of interest, what do we want to see? Well, if price gives us, let's say, right, we'll see it in the 30-minute time frame, right? So let's go to the 30-minute time frame real quick. In the 30-minute time frame, we know that we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. So once price, let's say we start moving down, right? Boom, we know that internal we have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? If price gives us lower low, lower high, boom, we're in the point of interest, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Where would you start taking a trade if price is still giving you lower lows and lower highs, right? You can't take it. You wouldn't take a trade. Just because price went into our point of interest doesn't mean, oh, I'm getting into a trade, let's get into the trade, right? It wouldn't make sense for a lot of reasons, right? Reason number one, I'm not going to take a trade that has 140 pips as a stop loss. It doesn't make sense. I'm not going to be winning anything with that, right? Because we're going to have 140 pips as stop loss to have 338 pips as TP, just to give you guys a generalization, right? So what is it that I'm going to be looking for? It's very simple. Once price gets into the point of interest, right? Once again, lower low, lower high, boom, we're in the point of interest. Once price gets in the point of interest, once I start seeing higher highs and higher lows, this is when I'll start taking a trade to then continue the push to the top side, right? And we could start looking for continuations. We could start looking for where price is going to give us higher highs and higher lows and continue to take trades following the trend, right? So we want to be very aware of where we're at and what we're looking for. So let's go back here. Why is this green? Not good. It's supposed to be yellow. Right, so right now in the daily time frame we have an engulfing candle. So at least we have a point of interest. In the 4-hour time frame, 2 weeks of rise, looking for the third week. Do we have any engulfing candles here? No. No valid engulfing candles here in the 4-hour time frame. And on the 30-minute time frame, we have just a day of rise. We're still trading between the same 30-minute high and 30-minute low. And we are still 20 pips from this being a no net day. But at this point, we'll update this tomorrow if we need to, or when the market opens tonight if we need to. And we'll mark it up as a no net if that's what it comes down to. Do we have any engulfing candles in the 30-minute time frame? We have a red, red, green, right here, red, red, green. However, once again, is this a valid? Yes, it is. Is it a valid engulfing candle? Yes. Red candle has top and bottom wick. Oh, that second red candle doesn't have a top wick. Nope, not a valid engulfing candle. Right, that red candle, the second red candle, does not have a top wick, so this is not a valid engulfing candle. So right now in the 30-minute time frame, we do not have a valid engulfing candle. Right now the only thing we have as a point of interest is our daily engulfing candle. So again, we just want to be patient with this one. This is definitely a pair that I'm going to keep an eye on for this week. GU in the daily time frame. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Respond to a text real quick. Alright, sorry about that, guys. So GU daily time frame, once again, do we have any gaps in the market? No, we're looking good, we're clean, right? So V1, we're in the first zone of consolidation. We finally had that break of structure. We're looking for a pullback. So GU right now is moving exactly how it needs to move. We got the pullback, we have 2 months of counter drop. This month being the third month, price went down, gave us a new low already. Is this where price is going to finally turn around and start pushing to the top side? Let's start looking at the lower time frames. In the 4-hour time frame, we had a week of drop. Last week, price went down and gave us 2 weeks of drop, still making lower lows and lower highs. And we know that we had lower low, lower high, lower low. Right? Did we get a break of these lows, or is this testing? Let's see. Right? It's still testing. I don't want to mark this as lower low, lower high, lower low. We don't have a candle closure below the zone, so we're still technically trading between this 4-hour low, pretty much. Right? This was the inducement, right? But if we go to the 30-minute time frame, we could also still see price giving us lower low, lower high, lower low, right? And we're trading between this 30-minute high and this 30-minute low. So at this moment, we don't have any continuations. We had 2 days of drop. On the third day, price gave us a drop rise. Not expecting price, obviously, to continue to push down to the bottom since it is counter trending. But I would love to start seeing higher highs and higher lows before I take a trade. Do we have any engulfing candles on GU? Nothing on the daily. The 4-hour, no valid engulfing candles in the 4-hour. In the 1-hour, we have red, red, green, right? Top and bottom wick on each of the candles. The only thing we don't have here is that second red candle did not close below the first red candle's wick. So this is not a valid engulfing candle right now. In the 1-hour, the 30-minute, no engulfing candles in the 30. So right now we're just gonna take a step back from GU. We'll wait for price to do what it has to do, and then we'll start taking trades. Once again, I want to take a trade, right? Again, price is making lower low, lower high, lower low. Why would I take a trade understanding that price is still giving us lower highs, right? Why would I take a trade going long when price is still giving me lower lows and lower highs? It doesn't make any sense. So GU right now, I'm gonna keep a close eye on it, but once again, I want to start seeing higher highs and higher lows before I take the trade. Go on to the next one. We're almost done here, guys. These last few pairs kind of go by kind of quick. Once again, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Any other pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know. Anything you guys don't really understand, or if you need me to explain something, just let me know, and we'll go over that. Any pair at all, any questions at all, just let me know. I think I received a message on Discord. Hold on. Any questions in the Discord? No questions in Discord. Okay. No questions. Okay. No problem. Any questions here on the YouTube chat? Let me know as well. I'll give you guys about like 15 seconds here. Let me know what you guys think. No questions? Alright. So US30 in the daily time frame, we're in peak high territory again, very similar to GJ, very similar to gold. We're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market, right? At this point, this is no longer the case in the daily time frame. We were making higher highs and higher lows, and then price went down and gave us a lower low. So we know that we're trading between this daily low and the 4-hour time frame. We know that we have 2 weeks of drop. This week being the third week, price went down and gave us a third week push to the bottom. It's very nice. We're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price went down and gave us a lower low, which is where we're at right now. We know that we're trading between this 4-hour low and in the 30-minute time frame. Let's turn this on again. And bro, it's gonna be a hassle, bro. I gotta turn it on and turn it off every single time. 30-minute time frame, we had lower low, lower high, lower low. Price then went down, lower high, lower low, and then gave us a change of character, higher high. Right, so in this case, once again, mark this up with a 30-minute break of structure line. Right, boom, we had the break. That break gave us this high here. Right, this high broke, gave us a change of character. So we know that we're trading between this 30-minute low and these 30-minute highs up here. Price on Thursday gave us a no net. Price was just moving sideways. And then price on Friday gave us a day of rise. So right now we don't have any continuations. Right now all we have is a change of character. Now let's say market opens today Sunday night going into Monday. When price gives me a break of structure, this is when I'll start taking a trade going long. I'm not taking any trades going long here. I'm not taking any trades going long here. I'm only going to start looking for trades going back up once price gives me this break of structure. So I seen some people, I saw it this morning when I woke up, some people were talking about, oh, this is where the indexes are bottoming out. We're going to finally continue to push to the top side. Yes and no, right? Because simply, could all of this be part of the same trend? As you can see, again, we don't have a clean break of structure of the low, right? That's number one. We don't have a clean break of structure of these lows. So if we really wanted to say that we're trading still lower low, lower high, lower low, right? Isn't this where price is going to give us the retest to continue this push to the bottom side? Absolutely. And we can see that that's what price, it seems like that's what price wants to do, right? But then you have a handful of traders. Again, this is why really, as much as you could learn on the charts, everything that you could learn about the charts is very beneficial, right? Because in this case, you have a lot of people who are looking at this as a bullish flag post pattern, right? Where price looks something like this, where price goes up, gives us a little retracement between 23.6 and 38.2, and then continues to push to the top side. This is what US30 looks like it wants to do right now in the 30-minute time frame, right? So you have a handful of traders who are currently looking to get into longs somewhere in this area, right? And then you also have a handful of traders who are looking to take shorts in this area. So just think about it. You have, to generalize it, you have 100 traders going short and you have 100 traders going long in the same area on the chart. Once you see that the market makers are giving confirmations to both type of traders, again, traders going short and traders going long, this is where you already have to get in the mindset of, okay, this is most likely where the market makers are going to give inducements, right? They're going to fake the traders going short, they're going to fake the traders going long, and then they're going to make the moves that they want to make. And again, that move that they're going to make, the confirmation that price is going to continue to push to the top side is going to be when and if price gives us a break of structure, gives us the retest to continue. If price doesn't give us that break and retest, if price comes back up and starts giving us, inducements of the highs and starts faking traders out, then we know this is where price is going to continue going short, right? So we want to be very calm with US30. US30 right now is not one that's going to be on my watch list, but I'm definitely going to keep a close eye on it. But right now we just have to wait for those confirmations to really understand where price wants to go, right? This isn't a game of guessing. This isn't a game of whether or not you're right or wrong, right? Well, let me take that back. It's a game of whether you know your rules or not, whether you're actually right or you're wrong. But you have to wait for the confirmations. If you take trades before price gives you confirmations as to where price wants to go, your stop loss may be hit, right? Or you're probably in the worst direction in the chart, right? You probably see, oh, this is where price is going to go long because we have a retest of this right here, right? And again, if you don't wait for those confirmations, price could just continue going short, right? Back down to the bottom. Or vice versa for traders going short, right? Again, if you're in these trades going short, right, and you get into these trades early, right, and once again you have these traders going long, price could simply just go back up and hit your stop loss, right? So we just want to have our confirmation set. We want to make sure that we're following the rules. We want to make sure that we know exactly what it is that we're looking for before we take a trade. Hope that's making sense, guys. Take a sip of water real quick. Once again, any questions, guys, let me know. We're almost done. We're only missing 4 more pairs. We've been at this for an hour already, so gonna speed things up here. So USDCAD, we're in V2. We're already in that third push. We finally got that break of structure of our zone of consolidation, but we still don't have a pullback. Price just continued to trend higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, up into the higher high. We had 2 months of rise, this month being the 3rd month. Price already gave us that third push to the top side, so it's looking good, right? Our daily highs and daily lows, we'll update that now. So we know that we had the break, gave us this, we got the break here, price gave us this daily low down here, and then our daily high, we're finally up here. So we know that we're trading between this daily high and that daily low at the bottom. In the 4-hour time frame, we had price give us higher high, higher low. Higher high, higher low, up to the higher high. So we know that we're trading between this 4-hour low down here. Alright, we're trading between this 4-hour low down here and this 4-hour high up here. And we have another week of rise, another push to the top side. And in the 30-minute time frame, we know that we had 3 days of rise. On the 3rd day, reset the trend, right? Gave us a rise no net, gave us a 4th day push, gave us 1, 2. On the 3rd day, gave us a push to the top side, right? We know that we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high. So we know that we're trading between this 30-minute low. Number 1, we'll add 30-minute lows and 30-minute highs. On Thursday, price gave us a day of drop, price went down, and then on Friday, price went down as well, gave us 2 days of drop. It's not bad. Again, USDCAD is one that I am expecting price to finally give me a pullback. Once again, where could I expect the pullback to be? In level 3, what are we looking for? We're looking for price to bounce off the 50 EMA. So once we get that pullback, that's when I'll start taking a trade. As of right now, we're in a higher high, and again, we'll draw out market structure. We have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. When you're looking at the trend, do you want to take a trade going long and the higher high, or do you want to take a trade at the higher low? It's very similar with gold or with USDCAD, right? Right now we have higher high, higher low, and higher high. Would you rather take a trade going long up here at the higher high, or would you want price to give you a higher low, right, somewhere in this area, to then continue into a higher high, right? So I'll be waiting for that pullback before I take a trade. USDCAD right now, not really going to be looking for a trade as soon as the week starts, but I am going to be looking for price to give me a steeper pullback before we could continue. USDZAR, we are in V2, we're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that 3rd and final push to the top side. This is still a pair that has a gap at the bottom of the market, so this is one that I'm not really going to be completely focused on. We also know that we had a little zone of consolidation, gave us an inducement of the lows, right, and then price went right back to the top side. But again, this is a pair that just has that gap at the bottom, so I'm not gonna be super into this pair here. Right. And we know that we had a break of these highs in the 4-hour time frame, so we know that we're trading between this 4-hour low down here and these 4-hour highs up here. And in the 30-minute time frame, once again, we have that gap at the bottom. Haven't updated USDZAR in a little bit because of that, right? But we know we had higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, right? Gave us this 30-minute high and these 30-minute lows. These 30-minute lows broke, right? And price ended up giving us lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So we know that we're trading now between this 30-minute low down here and these 30-minute highs up here. So let's update this real quick. So the 30-minute time frame, we're trading between this higher low down here, and we know that we're trading between this higher high up here at the top. I'm gonna mark this up here. We had on Thursday 3 days of rise, perfect. After 3 days of rise, market must chop or drop, and it gave us a day of drop. So again, structure is being shown on USDZAR, looking good. But again, USDZAR, I'm not going to trade it until we fill that gap up at the bottom. So I'm going to turn that one off. On gold, daily time frame, we know that we're trading between higher high, higher low, higher high, and lower low. So we know that we're trading between this daily low down here and this daily high up here. We have a gap at the bottom of the market. Once again, the 4-hour time frame, we're trading between the same 4-hour low that we've been trading in for a while and this 4-hour high. Now this 4-hour high, all of this was an inducement over here. So let's, dude, give me a second. There's just so much on the fucking screen. I'm telling you, those session breaks, I don't know what TradingView did, but they completely messed my charts up with that. The 4-hour high, we didn't have a break of structure. We just have these testing candles, so we know that we're trading between the same 4-hour high and 4-hour low. We had a week of drop, no continuations just yet. And in our 30-minute, and let's also, well, before I delete this, let's go over the trades, right? And in our 30-minute time frame, we had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we're still trading between the 30-minute high and these 30-minute lows. We had a day of rise on Thursday, and then on Friday, price gave us another push to the top side. So let's talk about the trade. What's good, Emmanuel? Good morning, good morning. Good evening, sir. Please, I tried to join the Discord with the link. Tell me the Play Store for a download. Am I supposed to download anything before I join your Discord? No, the only thing, you know, if you have Discord downloaded, you'll be able to just join the link. But I'll go ahead and I'll post the link for you here in the chat if you need it. There you go. But no, you don't need to download anything. Everything we do here is completely free, so you don't need to download anything. If anybody messages you on the Discord, you know, saying that it's me or saying that it's E, the other person that does the sessions as well, if anybody says, oh, you know, we're selling signals or we're selling whatever, we do not sell anything. We don't charge you guys for nothing. We do free one-on-one sessions. We do free daily live streams. We do the daily live streams Monday through Friday. In the morning, we do the live trading sessions. In the evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, we do the isolation session, the market breakdown. And then on the weekend, usually every Sunday, we do the weekly market breakdown here on YouTube. So, you know, if somebody goes ahead and tells you that we're selling signals, or if somebody's telling you, hey, you know, you could give me your account and, you know, I'll flip your account. We don't do any of that. Everything we do is free. This is not a signals course. We do not trade for other people. We're here to teach you guys how to trade, so then the day that you're on the charts by yourself, you'll know how to read the charts and you'll know how to take a trade. So, no, make sure that the only thing you need to have downloaded if you join through your phone or on your tablets or on your computer, if you have Discord downloaded, you know, just join the Discord with the link that I just posted in the chat, and you should be able to join right away if you already have Discord downloaded. If not, the only thing you need to download is Discord, and then as soon as you download Discord, you make an account or you sign in, you'll be able to join the Discord with no problem. But yeah, Emmanuel, if you have a problem joining the Discord, let me know. And I'll help you out. Just let me know. So gold, right? Let's start talking about these trades. So gold, we understand we have this gap here at the bottom. So we know that price again eventually is going to come down and fill this gap up, right? So once we had the inducement that we saw in the 4-hour time frame, once we go into the internal time frame, we saw that this is where price gave us the inducement. It gave us an engulfing candle, it gave us the retest, and we started to push down to the bottom, right? We had push number 1. Oh man, we had push number 1, the pullback. Push number 2. On push number 2, again, we had another engulfing candle in the 5-minute time frame, right? Push number 2 gave us the pullback, and then gave us another push to the bottom, which was the day with the news. Again, I don't trade news, so I was just letting this go. I didn't really trade up until once Tuesday finished. I didn't trade Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for all the pairs. Gold was the only trade on Friday that I 100% was. I was up at 1 in the morning and I was like, this looks way too good to not take it. And again, understanding market structure, we had push number 1, push number 2, push number 3. After push number 3, I'm looking for a pullback. Once we saw that price was rejecting these lows and price didn't want to push lower, and we started that uptrend push, what did price give us? It gave us again another engulfing candle. Red, red, green, what we were talking about since the beginning of the stream. As soon as we got the engulfing candle at 1 o'clock, we had the retest. That was the entry. And then take profit was STP for the day. STP for the day was 251 pips, and that's exactly what I was chasing for. As soon as price hit the 251 pip mark, that's where I took profit. Price continued, but it's all good, right? I'm not greedy. we understand that STP will be hit 100% of the time every single time you're on the chart, and that's what I'm going for. So something simple 1 to 5 wasn't too bad. But again, we have that gap at the bottom of the chart, so would love for price to just give us a continuation back down to the bottom so we could catch that trade and we could start looking for price to fill these gaps down at the bottom. So gold right now, I'm just going to take a step back, not really going to do anything too crazy. Bitcoin is kind of the same. I haven't really been looking at Bitcoin that much when it comes to day trading it. But again, we understood we have 3 months of rise. This month, I'm not expecting price to give me another push to the top side. I'm expecting price to either go down or I'm expecting price to finish on a no net, which you can see that's exactly what price looks like it wants to do. In the 4-hour time frame, we have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then price gave us a little change of character, lower low. So we know that we're trading between this 4-hour low here. Let's go ahead and delete some things here. Alright, we're trading between this 4-hour high and this 4-hour low. We have 2 weeks of rise on the 3rd week, which is this week. Price gave us a 3rd week push and then went down and gave us a rise drop. Now, could I expect price to give me a 4th week push to the top side? At this point, I'm not expecting it. Why? Because the pullback towards the end of the week is so big. It's a lot of pips. I'm not expecting price to go back up, 118 pips back to the top side. It's way too much. Way too much. So I'm not expecting it. Now, could it happen? Yeah, it could happen. Definitely can, especially for a pair like Bitcoin, especially for pairs like US30. Those pairs that have really big movements, I'm not going to say we could be expecting it, but it's something that could happen, right? So, do we have any engulfing candles? Nothing in the 4, nothing in the daily, nothing in the 1 hour. In the 30-minute time frame, let's update this in the 30-minute time frame. We have 2 days of drop on the 3rd day. Price gave us a drop, but then it gave us a no net. Since that's counter trend, I'm not going to mark it as a drop no net. We're just going to say no net. Then on Saturday, price gave us another no net, just moving sideways. And then today the market closes at 8 p.m. So I'm not going to be updating this just now. So 30-minute time frame. Let's update this. We had higher high, broke here, higher low, higher high. Then price gave us a lower low, lower high, lower low. So we know that in the 30-minute time frame, we're trading between this 30-minute high and these 30-minute lows. We're trading between this 30-minute lower high and this 30-minute lower low down here. And then US oil, last but not least. Thanks for the response, of course, my brother, no problem. Let me know if you have any issues joining the Discord. Let me know. And I will try to help you out as much as I can. US oil in the daily time frame, we are in A1. We're in the first zone of consolidation, looking for that second push to the bottom. Before we get that second push, we know we're looking for a break of structure. We still don't have that break of structure. Right, we have 2 months where price is just moving sideways. We're still trading between the same daily high and daily low. In the 4-hour time frame, we have same thing, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low. So we're trading between this 4-hour low and this 4-hour high. We had a week of rise last week. This week, price gave us a week of drop, so no continuations in the 4-hour time frame. And in the 30-minute time frame, we had 2 days of drop on the 3rd day. Price towards the end of NYC session just completely melted, went back down, right? On Thursday, price ended up giving us another push down to the bottom, right? And in this case, we had higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Then price just again rejected lows, rejected highs, right? Up until we had this breakdown here, which gave us a little change of character. So let's do this real quick. So change of character. Right, we had this break here. So we know now that we're trading between this 30-minute high up here and these 30-minute lows down over here. And then we had a day of rise. So again, my confirmation that price is going to continue this downtrend push is going to be when and if price gives us a break of structure. Once it gives us a break of structure, this is where I'll start taking a trade going short again on US oil. But that's pretty much it, guys. Any questions, let me know. Pretty much the pairs with the red flags are pretty much the ones that I'm going to keep a close eye on for this week and pretty much for the rest of the year. All the other pairs have gaps in the market that I'm just gonna let price do whatever it wants to do. Please, is it okay to take trade tomorrow and next tomorrow, knowing full well that this is December, most people have stopped trading already? Or do you think of the rate manipulation will be high? So that's a good question. So a lot of people historically, right? Historically, with past data, past market structures, and everything else, December is a month that there's a lot of volume on the charts, right? So is it a bad time to take a trade? No. However, we know that a lot of manipulation does happen on the charts. But first thing is first is market structure. If a certain pair is following market structure, then 100% you should take a trade, right? And again, we could go over the pairs that I've taken. We'll look at the pairs that I've taken trades in the last week and a half, right? You could definitely take trades in December. There's nothing wrong with it, right? But what's the common theme on my charts? Every single time I take a trade, I'm following market structure, right? Again, if price is downtrending, right, lower lows and lower highs, and you have your comfort, if you're following your rules, I think this is the best way I could respond to this question. The people who are scared to take trades, and scared isn't really the word, but I'm gonna use the word scared, just to kind of make sense for everybody who's watching the stream, right? If you're scared or you're nervous or you're anxious to take a trade, it's most likely because you don't have a trading journal, right? You're not following your rules. If you wake up, it doesn't matter what day it is, it doesn't matter if there's news, it doesn't matter if there's a holiday, it doesn't matter if it's the last day on earth, right? If you open up your charts and you see that a certain pair is following your rules, then you should take a trade. If you see that your rules are 100% being played out on the charts, whatever day of the week it is, whatever time of the month it is, you should always take the trade. Now, if you open up your charts and your rules aren't being followed, then there's just no trade. That's how I trade, right? If I open up my charts, every single pair that I look at, if I look at a pair and is not following the rules that I have on my trading journal, I'm not taking a trade. Vice versa, if I'm looking at the charts and all my rules are being played out and it's following market structure, it's doing everything that I want to see it do, then I'll take a trade. So, to answer the second question, do I think it'll be, the rate of manipulation, would it be high? Of course, right? We know that at the end of the month, there's a whole bunch of ways I could answer the question. But again, yeah, December is a time of month. Just think about it. There's so much going on in the charts. Let's just speak about indexes, right? Let's forget about the wars that are going on. Let's forget about everything that's going on in United States, but also just worldwide of what's going on. Let's just speak about what December is, right? This is the time of the month where everybody is out shopping, everybody is out wasting and spending money, banks are collecting a lot of cash, right? With that being said, the market is going to move a little bit more than usual. And we saw that happen this week. We saw that happen in October. We saw it happen in November, and we see it happening now in December. And why? Because people are spending money in October, people are spending money in November, and people are definitely spending money in December, right? With that being said, there's a lot more volume that comes into the charts. So the best way I could really answer the question is, any trader that is really telling you like, oh, you shouldn't be trading in December, it's simply just a trader that is not confident in their setups. Because again, if my setup is present on the chart, again, this is my trades from last week on gold alone, right? I took trades on gold. Let me open up my trading journal. Give me 1 second. I took trades on gold this week. I took trades on GBPAUD, right? And I believe that was it, right? Let me see, go to the second page. Yeah, these were the only trades I took this week, which was gold and GBPAUD. And again, everything is just following the same rules. If I wake up and my rules are being followed, I'm taking the trade. If my rules aren't being followed, when I open up the trade, I wake up at 5:30 a.m. Eastern time, right? I wake up towards the end of London session going into the NYC session. If I wake up during the end of London going into NYC and I see that my pairs are not following my rules, I'm not taking a trade. It's that simple. I don't let like outside, I don't open up Twitter and start looking at what everybody is saying. I don't open up Instagram, I don't open up YouTube and start looking at other people's live trading session and hearing what they're saying about, oh, you got to be nervous trading. Like, no. The first thing I do is open up my charts. The second thing I do is open up my trading journal. I look at the charts, I read my trading journal. Are my rules being followed on the chart? If yes, then I take a trade. If no, then I'm not taking a trade. You have to be robotic with this, right? It's just like coding, right? When you're coding something, right, in the coding language, is always if this, then that. If that, then this. If this, then that. Is the same thing in trading. If your rules are being followed, do you see higher highs and higher lows? Is price continuing the trend? Is it counter trending? Do you see engulfing candles? What kind of candlestick analysis do you see? Did the ADR for the day, was it already hit? Was STP for the day already hit? Right? If I wake up and I see that STP is already done for the day, like for example, STP for GA is 85 pips. If I wake up and I see, okay, boom, price already did 132 pips from 5 p.m. all the way to 8 p.m. or from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m., right? If I wake up and I look at the chart and it already did more than 85 pips, then I don't take a trade, right? If I wake up and a pair hasn't done STP yet and it's following the trend, then I'll start looking to take an entry, right? And then when I'm looking for an entry, I have to make sure that I'm following the entry models that I have. Are we trending? Do we have engulfing candles? Do we have exhaustion candles, right? Is price internally, is it trading with the trend or is it trading with counter trend, right? So it's really just about following your rules, right? It has nothing to do with anything going on worldwide. It has nothing to do with what type of the month it is. It doesn't matter, oh, we're in quarter 3. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as you're following your rules, you'll be fine to trade. So that's really the best way I could answer that question, right? Again, tomorrow morning, when you wake up tomorrow morning for Monday to take a trade, open up your trading journal and start looking, okay, is it following my rules? If this pair is following my rules, then I'll continue to look at it and I'll start looking for an entry. If a certain pair is not following my rules, then I won't be looking at that pair. It's really that simple. There's nothing more to it. There's nothing less to it. It's really that simple. Is whether or not you're following your rules in the charts. If you're following your rules, you'll win. You'll have a winning trade if you follow your rules. If you don't follow your rules, then you're gonna lose a trade. Again, it really has nothing to do with what type of the month it is, what time of the month, what's coming up. It really doesn't matter. Right now, again, we understand that bank holidays and days where we have FOMC and high impact news, that is going to affect the market. But again, you just have to wait for your rules to play out before you take a trade. If that makes any sense. I hope that I answered that question in a way where it made sense. But that's pretty much it, guys. Any other questions, let me know. I'll give you guys another minute here. I'll give you guys another minute. The chart 11:47. So at 11:48, I'll turn the stream off. But that's pretty much it, guys. Make sure you guys join the Discord. Again, it's gonna be a pretty slow week. We understand that we have a lot of bank holidays for the next week and a half up until 2025. So again, a lot of people also just don't trade because it's the last week. We're really not expecting too much out of the market because we have bank holidays, but that doesn't mean that it's not tradable. You could definitely still trade, but you have to make sure that your rules are being followed. But that's pretty much it, guys. Any other questions, let me know. Make sure you guys join the Discord, ask the questions in the Discord. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening for the live trading session from 6 a.m. Eastern to 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and then again from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern with the isolation session to get ready for the Tuesday's trading day. Hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.